The provincial budget tabled yesterday will impact all Edmontonians, including business owners and their customers. Joining us from the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce is CEO Doug Griffiths. Doug, thanks so much for being here. A lot to unpack, as there always is in a budget, line by line here. But what are your initial thoughts of the budget tabled yesterday?
Well, I mean, it was a bit of an inevitable challenge. We're dealing with a lot of fiscal realities that are impacting the economy, and the challenge Alberta has is that we rely on oil and gas revenue, and when the economy slows down, demand slows down, it impacts the budget. So not a lot of surprises here, except maybe that the way the government was still investing in our economy, in the infrastructure to a limited fashion was important, because it's going to help us capture the next round of growth.
Now, what are you hearing from business owners in the community, both about what we heard yesterday, but just in general? What's the temperature of the situation?
There's a lot of concern out there. There's a lot of ambiguity, I guess. We're dealing with still repercussions from the pandemic. Businesses are. We're still dealing now with the tariff situation and the reduction in trade and the uncertainty about where markets are going to go and grow. And now, even the conversation about separation has people reserving their investments and restricting a bit of investment coming to Alberta. And all of that is it's cooling the economy and keeping businesses a little wary about the future.
Now, I want to talk about this separation talk, because at this point it's just been talk. There's potential for referendum on it, but a lot of discussion. Is that alone enough to really have a serious impact on things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we saw what happened with Quebec with their referendum and their conversations for 2 generations about separation. It chased out head offices. It reduced investment to Quebec. It actually made them rely more on federal transfer payments because their economy stagnated. And I don't think... I think even having the conversation is doing the same thing to Alberta at the moment. And the longer the conversation goes, the worse I think it will get.
Do you need this government to definitively say one way or another what's going to happen?
Well, I think people are counting on that. I think people are waiting for someone to say, look, this isn't going to happen. We're better off in Canada. We need to work on helping grow Alberta and support the Canadian government in reaching new trade deals internationally and stop the conversation about separation, because separation won't make us any better off.
Now, there's a lot of talk, a lot of pressures, as you mentioned. This budget does have a fee increase for businesses. What kind of impact could that have?
Well, because margins are so tight with most businesses, and again, it will depend on the business, but larger industries, larger companies have more resources and more accessibility to the things that they need to weather any of these small storms. Small businesses, even the slightest marginal increase really impacts their bottom line and their viability, and so every little bit is going to be a challenge. But I would say that from what we've heard from the business community, the investments that this government is making in affordable housing, in mental health and care, to clean up downtown and safety, and some of those other big infrastructure investments, their move to pull their employees back downtown, mandating them back into the offices, is going to offset that sum. So there's good news in this as well as challenges.
Okay. That's the message from a lot of people following the budget. Doug, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your insight here today.